Hi, and welcome. We're the Weasley sisters. I'm Naturally Nitty, also known as Jessica in real life. And this is episode 219.
And I am Allena, also known as Starnits. Today is February 6th. This is our bi-monthly podcast. If you are a regular, thanks for coming back. If you are a first-time watcher, thanks for checking us out.
Yep, so grab your knitting, pull up a chair, and craft along with us. Today is a planning podcast where we go over the classes and such for the house stuff.
Which I just realized I did not read any of them.
I did. Okay, so first up, we'll talk about advanced studies, newts. By the end of the month of February, you can turn in your 75% benchmark. Owls, at the end of February, you can turn in your 50%. And Order of the Phoenix missions are going on right now. And those...
You still have to work on them. Yeah. They're not due till March.
They're not due, till March 4th to the 18th. Oh, and then Quidditch, there is a match going on, match 3 right now. Sorry. You can either bulk up by crafting with bulky yarn or slim down by crafting or spinning fingering weight or thinner. And there's only the 22 base points. You can't get yardage for that on this one.
If you're spinning, you'd probably be better off terminating for a class.
Right. So if you have something small to make, do that.
That's cool.
Oh, and then the Deputy Headmistress Challenge. I didn't actually write down what it exactly was. You have to craft something that corresponds to your commitment to lifelong learning. I didn't write down the details, but you can go read that.
When is it due? The 8th?
The 8th.
I was thinking of making a bookmark for that.
That would work. I actually...
Oh, okay, go on.
Well, I was going to say, I spun some yarn, some core spinning yarn that I thought I was going to turn in for Quidditch, but it turns out I started it before Quidditch actually started. So maybe someone can help me brainstorm an idea on how to turn that in for the Headmistress Challenge, because it's in the correct time frame for that.
Well, was that you were like learning because it was the core spinning, right?
I don't know if that would count. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, because you're still learning, like it's something you had to learn to do.
Like it's like watching documentaries or like reading books and stuff like that. I don't know. I have to reread it. I didn't.
So actually, my bookmark idea, I need for like my Bible a pen holder because my pens keep falling off. So I was gonna make like a bookmark, like headband type thing with a pocket that I can just put around.
Good idea.
Am I a nerd? Yes, I am.
No, it's a very good idea.
So that's what I'm thinking. So maybe I'll do that. I thought that challenge was over. So now I have 2 days to do that. So I might have time.
Yeah. So that's due on, what is that, Saturday?
Yeah. The 8th.
Or Friday? What date? Today is Wednesday?
No, yeah. No, today's Tuesday. So that's
Thursday. Oh my goodness. So it's due Thursday. I'm sorry. I was thinking today was Thursday and I don't know why. Sorry about that, people.
It started confusing me because I was like, wait, what? No, so today's Tuesday, so the 8th is Thursday.
Yeah. Sorry. It's due Thursday. All right. Moving on.
I can go first. Ancient runes. The name rune itself, taken to mean secret something hidden, seems to indicate that the knowledge of the runes was originally considered esoteric or restricted to an elite. The Muggles didn't name the magic community, of course. How could they? When the Latin alphabet became standard, runes were used less and less. Consequently, knowledge about runes got lost and in the following generations. But nevertheless, people continued to be fascinated by runes and use their imagination to interpret them or make them up new ones. For homework this month, we want you to use your imagination, work with runes from your own realm of fantasy. Okay, sorry, that's page break. So use your imagination to modify a pattern, overdye, or spin a complex yarn. Non-Ravelry crafts will be accepted if they are needle-based.
So that's pretty cool. They were saying how the largest made up rune was for the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings.
I'll have to go read it. So I didn't read them, and normally I do, so I know like
use it as an example. But yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's pretty simple. Modify a pattern. Like I usually modify patterns all the time. Or overdye a yarn. I was looking through a bunch of different sock yarn and stuff because I was reorganizing my stuff. And, you know, there's some stuff that I don't necessarily love anymore that I bought like years ago or that I've gotten in clubs. Like,
yeah,
always overdye something.
That's a good idea. Overdye. So, yeah.
All right. Next class. Art history. For this month, buck the system and craft something without using a pattern or heavily editing a pattern, or craft using at least 2 of the colors in the Impressionism paintings we have featured in the class. Non-Ravelry crafts will be accepted without prior approval. Oh, okay. So they were looking at the Impressionistic art movement and how there was oh, I forget, some show that like they wouldn't allow certain paintings in, so they bucked the system and had their own show, and that's where Monet and some of the other painters who apparently were wizards had their paintings. Blah, blah, blah.
So that's kind of close to ancient runes too. Like, don't follow adjust a pattern type of thing.
Right. Or they even said you could take your own Impressionism paintings and craft something with those colors in it, 2 colors of that. So if it's my painting you like and you want to do that, then there you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Okay, next class. Care of magical creatures. A fox that lives 1,000 years turns into a kumiho. Kumiho are known to have 9 tails. They can shapeshift into other forms, but even in a shifted form, there's still something persistently fox-like about it, either in form or in nature. We're going to focus on a kumiho, how kumiho are made. Given the average attention span of an 11 to 17-year-old, 1,000 years might be too long an observation period. So we are asking you to, 1, invest in at least 5 hours, which feels like 1,000 years to a teenage Hogwarts student, crafting your homework this month, or 2, craft using a specific craft/crafting technique. Kumihomi. Non-Ravelry crafts will be accepted too.
Which, oh, where'd that go?
So I'm guessing they shared how that technique is.
They didn't. I Googled it. It's basically like kind of like a woven cord. It's like a not quite circle. I think it's octagonal thing with like slots in it, and you take cord or yarn or whatever, and like you kind of weave it, and it makes a cord. Think of like camp, and you make those bracelety things. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, if you Google it, there's like how-tos, which is kind of cool. I thought I might give give that a go and like make a keychain or something easy and small. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or spend 5 hours on something, which seems like a lot, but
It's really not, because if I think about it, like my spinning
yeah,
takes
almost.
longer than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost everything except for like a super fast, bulky spin, but not even like by the time you apply it and stuff, I think.
And I'm not a fast knitter, so for me to like make something, it's gonna take at least 5 hours, if not more. Because I usually take the whole month to make stuff.
Right. Anyway, so um not too bad. All right, divination. This month we are studying pyromancy, which is divination by means of fire, smoke, and ash. For your prompt this month, take inspiration from the flames, smoke, or ash. You may craft in the colors of fire, smoke, or ash, or show us the patterns you saw in the flames, smoke wisps, or the ash piles. So that's pretty open.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, like, do they have a thing like if you look at fire and it's not always red and orange, sometimes it's like blue? Do they have like you have to show a picture? Do they have any of that?
I think it just says take inspiration from it. So I think if you show a picture of a certain color fire or flame, like you could use that as inspiration.
Because sometimes if you use like driftwood, it's like purple and green,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cool. So I mean, you could use colors, any colors.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that okay. So back up. The last one makes me want to make a Ninetales, the Pokemon, like an Amigurumi or something, or a
You should.
Vulpix. Kind of makes me want to make like an Amigurumi Pokemon. And then this one makes me want to make an Amigurumi Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle.
That would be cool. I like Calcifer.
So
That would be
had
really
that off
fun.
the list because I think I have that in my queue, like a pattern.
There
Now's
you
the
go.
time to do it. Or a
There
soot.
you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, any of those from Totoro.
Okay, so flying.
Mm-hmm.
This month, you're going to study a hapless Greek wizard who flew too high. His name was Icarus. Icarus built a pair of wings sealed with wax, but flew too close to the sun, with regrettable results. For your homework, we would like you to stretch your wings a bit by challenge yourself with a daring or difficult to you technique or craft. It should be sure to tell us how you're stretching your wings or to craft in solar colors, red, orange, or yellow. Non-rivalry crafts are being accepted without prior approval, as long as they fit the prompt. That's pretty cool.
And that's another red, orange, and yellow prompt.
Yeah.
Kind of like flying or uh, divination.
But that can be like anything. Like the thing I'm working on right now is I'll talk about it when we talk about it. But to finish an actual garment in a month is stretching my wings big time. Like
Yep.
that's my goal. So I'm hoping I will get to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Um, I could probably turn it in for.
Or any technique that you need to practice on or try hard at. I think you could use. Like I could have used core spinning for that because I
Yeah.
am not great at that. But
Yeah.
that's another.
Wait, did you start it at the in the first or no? You started in January.
Started it in January.
Okay, so then it doesn't count. But had you waited,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyways, yes.
Yes. Okay. Oops. Okay, herbology. For this month's homework, craft something that represents the phrase "Go bananas." By crafting something that is a little crazy. Crafting in yellow, it must be 50% No rotten bananas here. That's a different lesson. Crafting something crazy big must be at least 100 yards. Craft something by hard by crafting a new to you technique or technique that you find difficult. Spinners can spin chunky, weight, or thicker. Non-Ravelry crafts will be accepted if they fit the prompt. So they had us in a like a I can't even think of the word, tropical herbology greenhouse. It was kind of cool because you kind of go through crazy in winter. So that's where that all went down.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, another new technique or a difficult technique. I feel like all of the classes are somewhat the same and yellow.
Yeah. I don't like yellow, so
It's not my favorite either, but that's okay.
okay. So for Muggle studies, for this month's prompt, craft something that represents or is inspired by a Muggle home improvement, or is more than 50% green or brown to represent lawn care or woodworking. To reduce confusion, non-Ravelry crafts will not be accepted this month. I like green, so yeah.
I like green.
No, that's cool. Like a Muggle home improvement, so that could be anything, like anything, anything.
Yeah. You can make a rug because you're redoing your floors or curtains. Oh wait, I just did that. I don't know. You could do all sorts of things. Gardeny type stuff for the outside. Um, Anything really.
Curtains would work because like you're redoing like a window, like you're adding a window.
Right. I'm just saying, but I already made those, so that's right. Okay, so transfiguration. Um, Vanishing is the act of making something cease to exist. Vanishing can be used on both animate and inanimate objects. The more complex the object, the harder it is to vanish. For this month, practice the vanishing spell in your crafting. Knitters, crocheters, and weavers craft a project that vanishes at least 100 yards of yarn. Spinners vanish enough fiber to spin at least 100 yards of finished yarn. Dyers dye at least 100 yards of yarn.
That's a cool one. So that 100 yards, that's
That,
not much.
no, it's not. Well,
I mean, it's not like a small project either. So.
I mean, no, I guess not. It's bigger than a tiny thing.
Yeah,
Like if you're using sock yarn or something, but
I don't know. I can't knit socks in a month, so
well, that's like 400 yards.
yeah.
Um, Depending on what kind of yarn you use, so you could make mittens or you can make anything. That's pretty wide open, so that's good. And that's it. That's the classes.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I'm sure if we have any new people watching, like when you are making something, Ravelry has all of the weights of the yarn, like if you're using like yarn that's put into the system already, or you can put it in before and just weigh what's left and figure out the difference, or like weigh your finished item.
Mm-hmm.
That's one easy way to find out how many yards you do it. I don't even like count the yards. I just weigh it and let Ravelry figure it out for me. So that's
Same.
just a tip there for you.
Same here.
So, okay. Now back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Wait.
We start with Mojo. So, do you have any finished objects,
Um,
or woven?
yeah. I showed the kitchen towels last week actually, so I don't know why I have that on there. I will pull up pictures. I wove some not kitchen, window curtains for my laundry room. I've been wanting to do this, and I probably said it on the podcast probably like 10 times in the past like year. And I finally did it. The only stinky thing was that I got sick and wasn't able to finish in time for a class.
Okay.
Like that sucks.
For
So
them attention at least.
yeah, I'm gonna put them in for detention. So here's them right off the loom. I did a little bit of lace, lino lace, it's called, where you use like a pickup stick and you kind of twist the warp threads around and then
That's
put shuttle through. It was pretty easy to do, and it looks pretty. So there, that was them, and then not that it looks pretty or anything on this picture. It's like the best thing, but that's them up in the windows.
awesome.
Um, yeah, they were fun, and I'm glad I did them. I had been wanting to do them for like ever, because I had gotten that yarn. Oh, I moved it somewhere else. It was like crochet thread or crochet cotton, whatever.
Yeah.
For free from someone. I got like 5 balls of it a year ago, and like that was my intentions with it. But it was fun to do, and I'm glad I did it. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Oh
Those
my!
I have Mojo from last month. I pulled out my rainbow spin that I did, and I was talking about it last week or last 2 weeks ago. And then I was doing a Gabtastic cowl. Well, I finished it, and then I turned it in for one of the classes. But it turned out really nice, and I just like this much left. Like I went all the way and used it.
I love it.
So remember when I was spinning it, I hated it. I like wound on the last like so many yards, and it was just like a bulky spin, and it was just not fun because there's like, yeah. But
you're doing it here during Tour de Fleece, right?
Yeah. And the fiber itself was just like a domestic wool, so it's not the softest, but knitting it up went really fast because it was on like 13s or something.
Yeah.
11s, maybe, whatever the pattern called for. And then like I've been wearing it. It's because it's awesome. So I wear it like this, and then I'll put it like this when it's cold. But then when like I get wherever we're going, you know, I just like let it with my coat. So it's really nice. And it's like, even though this it wasn't super soft to my fingertips, it doesn't bother me on my neck. So
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
It looks very squishy and comfy.
Yeah. And I like how the colors, like I love how this mashup worked, because it was like 2 tonals. One was a rainbow tonal and one was like a black to white with brown in it tonal. And I just spun them and then plied them together. So I think it turned out nice. So yeah, but that's my only finished object. So do you have any works in progress?
Yes, I am working on my order mission right now. It's sorry, I'm in the middle of a row, but it's Leah's sweater. I'm doing the effortless cardigan sort of, because I'm totally messing with needle size and the yarn weight. But yeah, so that's it, upside down. I guess here's the
Cool. That was looking really cool.
arms. I love it. Yeah, I'm doing some ribbing now for the end, or not the end, the bottom band. 3 inches of that, and then I have arms to do, and then ribbing around the whole thing, which it's like, you know, a huge big long rectangle. But I really like the colors, and it's cool, and Leah likes it, so that's a bonus as well. But that's all I'm working on. How about you?
I am working on a couple of things. So first, I am working on this, which is the Sauvist Dragons. It's a pattern by Michelle from Crafty Flutterby, and it's like a vest, and it's going to be a shop model for my friend Dawn from Fairy Tale Knits, and she sent me the yarn to make the shop model. So she's going to start having kits, like crochet kits, and so she sent me her yarn, and this is the yarn. It's backwards up there, but is it forwards to you?
Yeah, it's forward.
Okay. So this is her new base called Shining Armor, and it's 92% superwash merino and 8% lurex, and it's fingering weight, and it's 409 yards of skein, and it's super pretty. And this colorway is called Banshee, and it's like purples and pinks, like a magenta. My coloring is off on here, so you can't really tell, but this is the softest. It's like working with butter. Like, it's so soft and fun to work with. So I'm crocheting, and the pattern calls for a 4.0 millimeter hook, and I did a gauge swatch, and I got it with a G, which is 4.25. So that's what I'm using. But so I'm working on that. So this, I started swatching like on the 1st, because I knew that it was going to take me a while to finish an actual garment. So she had this pattern. It can be either a vest or a shawl. And Dawn, who's Fairy Tale Knits, she wants me to do the vest so she can have it on one of her forms.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm working on. So, because she wants to have crochet kits in her booth, and I was like, I can crochet, and I will crochet for yarn. And she like gave me some yarn. So, yeah, I can be bought by yarn. I'm also working on my order mission, which is the Professor vest for Andy. So he wanted, I measured one of his sweaters, and it came out to be the large size, but he kind of wanted it to be bigger. It came out like an inch bigger than the large size is how it is, but the extra large is like 2 inches bigger. So when I swatched, because I do gauge swatch, even though a lot of people hate it, I do it because then you get stuff that fits. I didn't get gauge on the needles it calls for, and this is the thing that bugs me. So it calls for Aran weight yarn, and then it has you using size 5 and 7 needles with Aran weight. So I didn't get gauge with that because the yarn that I spun is probably a little bit more on the bulkier side of Aran than, like, because it gauged to Aran with the reps per inch tool, but it's a little bit bigger. So I was like, I am not going down in size.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I gauged on size 5s and I still didn't get it. So I just did a gauge swatch, and then I measured my gauge and did the math. And basically, so to get the extra large size, I would need I did the math, and it equals to the same as the large size, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. I have like my notes on here. So my multiplier got me to, it was like 102 stitches, which I needed for the extra large size, I needed 108. But with the math, anyways, how I'm doing it is I'm making the large size with the regular needles, but it's going to be the extra large size because of the gauge. And I figured it's going to work better because the extra large size is 48 inches, and I needed like 46, if that makes sense, across the chest. And so I'm making the 44-inch one with my gauge. Like I'm doing the numbers for the 44-inch with my gauge. It should be about 46, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my mind when I did the math, and I have the back cast on, and it's working out correctly. So
That's good.
good thing. But it's a broken rib stitch. I don't know if you can see that, if that'll focus.
It's hard to see, but it's sort of.
Yeah, well, he wanted like black, and I was like, I can't dye black because it breaks and looks purple. So I dyed it like an espresso brown. And holy cow, is this hard to knit. I know I'm getting really old because it's hard to knit. I have to have like light on me.
You need to get out the hot lights.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm a couple of inches up, and I'm still on the first skein that I made. So
awesome.
So I'm kind of worried with the new gauge that I might need more yardage than it calls for, which was, I forget. I have to figure it out. But I think it called for like 800, and I think I have about 900.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll work, because he kind of wants longer too, but I don't know. We'll see. I did math, and it made sense when I did it, so I'm going to just stick with what I'm doing.
That's how I feel about this thing, too. I'm like, I did all this math, and I figured out what size to make to fit Leah. Like, I think I'm knitting, like, the extra large, but on, like, tiny needles with tinier yarn, so it'll make, like, the smallest size. I don't know. I'm confused, but hopefully it's working.
When I did the math, it worked. And if you want me to explain it, I can't. But it works. And that's why we do gauge swatches, because then you can do math and figure it out. And then, yeah. So those are the only works in progresses that I have.
Awesome.
So you spin me right round.
I have been slowly working on spinning up my Clockwork Angel Rolex. I think I just started this one, and I have 2 more Rolex, and then this 2-ounce section will be done.
Cool.
It won't be for a class or anything, because it was started like months and months ago. Actually, I think like over a year ago. And then I'm spinning up some fiber that I dyed up last week or 2 weeks ago. And then I over dyed it, and it's not like felted, but it was not to the point where I would want to sell it. You know, I would not.
There's similar colors.
I know, it's going to fit in with that. Oh, shoot. So it's, yeah, either that or the fire. It fits with either one of those. Yeah, so it's not the nicest right now, and I'm kind of fighting with it a little bit as I spin it. So I'm almost done with the first half. This is the second half. So I'm slowly just spinning on that. And that's it. Like, I totally have like a super slow month this month compared to last month where I was like a super crafter. And
I find sometimes that happens because you craft yourself out.
Well, and life just gets busy and stuff.
And this time of year sucks. So I got in the mail a package from Jessica, and she had hand-pulled roving in it for me to sample. And I started sampling it. So I'm just going to spin it all together and then Navajo ply it, I think. Cool. Or maybe ply it. I haven't decided yet. So I started with the one that was mostly hot pink with blues and greens. And then I'm now working on like the pink and peach one.
Okay.
With greens. And then I'm going to put pink, the blue, and then I'm going to end with the other pink one. Okay. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I'm spinning it. I'm just kind of letting it spin. I think I might, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I might just do a 2-ply because let's see if I can get you to see that. It's looking like I'm not getting it super thin. It's
Yeah.
like thick and thin because sometimes is the white silk.
No, the white is bamboo fiber.
Oh,
Like loose like bamboo fiber.
okay, because some of it I can get it to draft out, and then some of it I get like chunks. So it's going to be like a chunky,
Yeah, art
which
types.
doesn't bother me at all. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm working on currently. I finished my rainbow thing, which was all those little batlets from Hobbly.
It's gorgeous.
I don't know if you ever see her thing. And she has batlets, and I had bought them. I had bought one or two at the same time, but most of them I bought. I had 3 bags. So, and I know I think I bought them at different Maryland Sheep and Wools, or when I saw her, and it's kind of funny because she always shares a booth with Marigold Jen, which is her mom, and she dyes yarn, and Hobbledehoy she does the roving and the bats and stuff. And I always go in and I always talk with her mom, and I've never actually met her because every time
Really?
I go in and shop, she's out touring other booths. But it's kind of funny. But anyways, so I spun
That
it up,
is fun.
and I couldn't fit it all on one bulky bobbin when I spun it, because I spun it up and then I Navajo plied it. So I got 10 wraps per inch, which is about worsted. But it turned out really nice. So I actually have 2 skeins, but I skeined them up together. But so I like broke it in half. But I got it's super soft and squishy, and I got 484 yards of a 3-ply at 10 wraps per inch. So it's like super super soft. And like she had like silk in there. There was like sari silk. There was like all kinds of stuff in the bats. So they turn out really nice, and they're sparkles.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, but yeah, so it turned out really nice. I washed it and everything, so it smells really good. But yeah, so that's the fiber that I actually finished and turned in for a class last time we talked. But that's all the spinning I have.
And that's okay. All right, what's up next?
I can't.
I will look. Sewing.
Oh yes, I've been lots of sewing. I've been sewing a lot. I cannot talk. I have the Delmarva Fiber Festival this weekend in Ocean City, Maryland. So I've been sewing a lot. I made a bunch of rope bowls for it, and I have a bunch of other stuff that I'm sewing and still sewing. So yeah, now is starting my busy season, if that makes any sense.
So on a sewing related note, I haven't actually sewed. Actually, what did I? Oh, I like sewed up the curtains, but that doesn't really count. Um, I want to try. I bought a couple patterns from Patterns for Pirates
Oh yeah.
for a couple different shirts that they have. And I want to try actually sewing a garment, like real non-pajama pants.
Well, and her patterns are really well written, I find.
Yeah.
And she has, if you go to her YouTube channel, she she has like a thing where she went, she was at Walmart, and she like shows you which fabrics you can buy at Walmart.
I'll have to go look at that.
Um, Pretty cool.
But yeah, so I want to try my hand at that, and try making my own clothes, and for the girls, because like they like.
Well, I need to buy some of her shirts because some of her shirts are like fabulous, and they're like, I mean, if you like LuLaRoe, they're basically the same thing, only you would make it yourself, and it would be a little. I'm thinking it would be cheaper than that.
And you get to like hand pick, fabrics that you actually really want and stuff. So yeah, so that's my thing. I really wanted to try it, and I've been part of that Facebook group for a while, and I've been watching and creeping on what everyone does on there, and I really want to try my hand in it.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
I was on there yesterday or a couple of days ago.
mm-hmm.
Someone shared, I don't know if it was who it was, but they shared how they started making clothes, and they have like 10 clothes like items that they have that they make, and they wear it in like different ways. So I was like, pretty cool. I think it was for like a different sewing company, so
Okay.
pattern thing, but the basic like shapes, like these pants, this shirt type of thing that could interchange with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I need to get some of her patterns and do that when I have time, which I don't ever. But yeah, excuse me.
But that's one of my goals for this year is to make some wearable items for myself and the kids. I bought, they make or she has it's called the baby bear joggers, but they're like basically like sweatpants type things, but that's like the pants that Gabe and Truby like to wear a lot, and even the girls have a couple different pairs and stuff, so I thought that would be cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
He had a sale, I think it was last weekend, or a week for getting, I forget how many followers or sales or something, but it was 30% off. So like, I was like, now is the time. So I bought a few patterns.
Yeah, I just need to figure out how to get those printed.
I know I need to see, there was like a website that people say they like ordered it from, but so I might do that, or I might see if like our Office Max will print them and see how much it is
Yeah.
on the big AO.
I'm thinking like, because I saved the one that I made the peg legs. I think I just threw away the um, pajama pant ones because I was like rushing around. I should have saved them because I think I need to like get that and then get like freezer paper that's really long and then trace on them each size, because
Right.
what I did was I made for the pajama pants, I printed it out, taped it all together, and then I cut the largest size and then I cut down instead of like folding it. I should have folded it or like traced and made like different. Yeah. So I think I need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sewing though, along with the bats, Jessica sent me the book for my mom's old sewing machine, which I had sitting there on the table because it was doing weird stuff and I couldn't get it to work. So I was using a Singer that I had. So she sent me the book and I was like reading through it and I was like, oh my gosh. And I like fixed everything. I feel so smart.
Awesome.
Like, but that funny thing about older sewing machines and the newer ones are like plastic. Even if the insides are metal, they're really light. So I think like some of the gears are probably plastic. But their books, like they just come with like, this is what you do. They don't have like any instructions really on how to oil or care for your machine. But then reading this vintage sewing machine book, it was like, okay, you need to oil here and you need to do it every month. And even if you're not using it, you need to oil and blah, blah, blah. Because like sometimes like if the sewing machine doesn't tell you, people don't know that you need to keep your thing oiled just like your spinning wheel. So but it like had pictures and it showed you exactly where to oil, and it had all kinds of stuff in there. And so I was just having a problem with the it's called bird nesting, and I couldn't figure out why. And then there's this like dial on this. This is an old sewing machine. It's called a Ricker or whatever. But there's this dial up at the top by the light, and I never knew what it was for. And it's like a pressure thing. not the feed dogs, but a pressure thing. So I turned it to the right number for a heavier duty stuff, and I adjusted the tension, and then I didn't have any problems. I felt so smart. Like I was like so smart. And I didn't have to take it to get fixed by the sewing machine repair people because that's like $75 or more. And yeah, so that was awesome. And thank you so much for sending me that because it made
are you sewing with it now?
Yeah, because I like it. I mean, it's 300 pounds, but it works so much better than the cheap Singer that I got. Because the last time my grandma's sewing machine broke, because something's off on that. I should probably take that apart and see if I can't fix that one, because I think I could probably fix that one. But when hers broke, I went and just bought like a Singer from Walmart because it was in the middle of like sewing time, and the only place that was open was Walmart. And so I just went and bought one, or it was a brother. And because I couldn't fix it, it was something that I couldn't fix. And I think I even looked in that book, and maybe I couldn't fix that one. So then I got my mom's sewing machine, and I had been using that, but then I couldn't. Now that I figured it out, I've been using it again because I like it better. It just works. Something about the older machines, they just seem to work a little bit better.
I know mine older one, it's a Kenwood. It's like heavy and solid. I like it.
Yeah, I like them too. Okay, so next up is Jim.
I haven't done anything this past week. I was sick over the weekend and stuff, and I'm just now feeling better. So I need to get back at it now. But I kind of failed the last week and a half to 2 weeks.
That's okay. We all do that. Yeah. I also didn't do very well. Like I did Just Dance with Bella the one night, and then life kind of gets in the way sometimes. So I hadn't done any yoga, but I probably should because I've been so tense and yeah. But Bella and Andy were sick. Bella started on Sunday, and then Andy started Sunday night. So they both were home yesterday. So I definitely didn't do anything. But my goal is to do at least Just Dance once and then yoga at least once. I'd rather do it more, but I'm just going to set the bar low. And then if I surpass it, that's good. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's just that season for being sick. And I'm like, I cannot get sick right now. I do not have time till next week.
Well, and I had like a cough at first, so like I couldn't dance or do anything, like because once you start like getting your heart rate up there, it's hard to, you can't like breathe.
Right.
Or you start coughing and it's horrible. But yeah, so my goal is to get back at it and dance a few more times this week and maybe try yoga or two because yeah.
So our Just Dance has this one called Just Jingle It. So it's like a Christmas guy, but it's the funniest one. And I was doing it and laughing so hard. It's like hilarious. So yeah, Just Dance. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so next up, binging. Have you been binging on anything?
Yes. When I was sick, I was like up in my bed for like 2 days straight. So I was continuing on, I don't know if I said this earlier, the Downton Abbey series. So I finished all that.
5 seasons?
Yeah. Well, I was like partway through it and then I had a few days in bed. So I watched a lot of it and it was good. I hadn't seen, I think the last 2 seasons, 4 and 5. And it's like over, like they're not doing more. So
yeah, I think the 5th season was like its final season.
Yeah, it was. But it was good and I enjoyed it. I really like it, obviously. Or not obviously, but I liked it. And then I started watching Orphan Black.
So good.
I think you said you watched that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm on season 2. It's good. It's good. I don't know. Like It's interesting enough. You know, there's like clones. Um, that actress is pretty good at doing different versions of herself, I'll
I
say.
know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, like different accents and looks and stuff, and very good. So yeah, I'm on the second season of that. And all right. Oh, and then we started watching Stranger Things. Um, Gabe and Leah had been wanting to watch it a lot, so we
Really?
watched with the kids, which is kind of creepy.
So did Leah really want to watch it?
Yeah, I know, right? Like they're so against like action type things, and then I think because like kids at school had been watching it and stuff. So
Well, and I think it's more creepy for us because we grew up during that era, like that time. So like we recognize the stuff, like the stuff they're playing with, the clothes they're wearing. At least I do. I don't know if you do as much.
yeah, yeah. We
But
just watched the first season so far. We haven't watched the second one yet.
yeah. But I mean it's just and it's like videoed like it was like it really is the 80s. So it's like creepy as all get out.
Yeah,
I don't know, just because to me I just like I was like, "Oh my gosh." You know, like
yeah. No,
yes.
it was good. I enjoyed it. So far, anyways.
Yeah. I just finished watching season 2 of that.
Gabe is loving some of the music. I forget what song it was like. He's like, "This song is so cool." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, it's like so funny." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it is." I forget what it was. I don't know. I'll have to tell you later, but it was funny. But yeah, so they're enjoying that. Chloe and Truby don't want to watch it before bedtime.
Okay.
But that's okay. So yeah, that's and then okay, so I'm reading books. Um, I finished. Oh, I already told you I finished the Harry Potters. I started listening to the Dresden Files, and I am currently on the third book of that. And it's interesting enough, cool. You have a ton of them, or
I think I'm on like the 6th or 7th book.
I say, did you listen to them all? Because there's like 13 or 14.
Yeah. No, I have been um I get frustrated with it because they treat him so bad. Like the council treats Dresden so bad and it makes me so angry.
Mm,
So like I have to like space the time I'm listening to it because it makes me that angry. Like
okay.
I shouldn't be that involved in a book, but it does.
I got mad because I've only the first two. I just started the third one. Murphy, the cop he works with, like is so like untrusting of him. But I'm like, what do you? I don't know. I don't know.
But I mean,
I
if
guess,
you think about it though, like it would be like nowadays if someone said they're like a real wizard
I guess so.
and like yeah, right. You know what I mean? That's what it would be like.
I know. It's interesting enough though. It's cool. I like how like everything electrical goes wrong around him, and I think it's cool that his like apartment is like way back in the olden days. You know what I mean? Like fires and candles and stuff. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Well, what I mean, and that kind of explains like because you like watch Harry Potter. Like, of course, we love Harry Potter,
Hmm.
but they are back in the Dark Ages, like with quills and stuff, and you're always like, why? So like Dresden Files kind of explains it. Like electrical stuff doesn't work,
Yeah, because you
which
use magic.
don't
Magic.
realize
Well, they explain it a little bit, or at least Hermione does in what is it, the fourth one when like Harry's talking about something being bugged and like electrical devices don't work around that much magic.
yeah, they don't like go into detail, but like
Yeah, so I like that whole aspect of it.
because I mean, if
And
you think about it, like how much easier would have things have been if they had like cell phones?
right, yeah, I don't know.
So
Anyways, so I'm enjoying that. Um,
what's the third
yeah,
one called? Small Favor?
no, grave peril.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I I forget what
So
all.
yeah, okay. I have been uh So I finished, like I said, I finished Stranger Things, and then I finished Grace and Frankie, which I did not like where that ended at all. That series, well, that season. I don't know, but anyways, with Madison or Bella and Andy being sick yesterday, they just kind of laid around and I worked, and um, then we, like we would watch a few shows, and then I would go and work, and then do like stuff that I could do here in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been binging on The Flash and Star Trek Voyager. So The Flash, we're on like season 2. It's super good. And yeah. So I am watching Psych at night sometimes. And then sometimes I started watching this show called Missing on Amazon Prime. But then when I looked it up on IMDb because I wanted to see who the actress was, it's actually 1-800-MISSING was the name of the show. And there's 3 seasons, but there's only 1 season on Amazon Prime. So I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. This girl got struck by lightning, and now she has dreams and finds these people that are missing, basically, is what it is. And she's working with the FBI. Now, like, so I started watching that, and that's pretty interesting. It's from like 1999 or 96, maybe. So older. And I put a couple of other shows in our watch list from Amazon. They have one called, I don't know if it's called The Archaeologist or something like that, but it's kind of like, like Indiana Jones, but like a TV series, but it's not Indiana Jones. It's like a girl. Right. I put it in our watch list to watch with like Bella, because I think she would like that. And, I like to have like, like I like to read books with strong women in them. I like to watch shows and movies with strong women in them. So I put it in my list, because having girls, I want them to see strong women. So anyways, back to what I'm binging on. So I've been reading a lot because I've been sewing a lot, and I'm working through the Temperance Brennan books, and I'm on the 18th book, which is the last one, I think. I'm like halfway through, and I hope she like closes the series down or she's writing another one, but it's been 3 years, so I don't know. It makes me nervous. Like I hate ending series. Like that's why I have so many books. Like the 3rd book in the series I haven't read because I hate to end them. Yeah. Like I never finished the what's that book by Deborah Harkness?
The Witches? Discovery of Witches? You should read it.
I never read the 3rd one. I haven't finished the 3rd. I didn't read the 3rd one in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series.
You're hilarious. I've listened to this.
I need to finish them, but like I just don't want to end because they're like series that I like. So I'm like, this is my goal this year is to finish these and finish things. So I'm finishing this Bone series, and it's not going how I want it to go, so it's like really hard for me. So, but yeah, so I read 16. I was reading it last time we talked, so I finished 16, and then she had like 16.5, so I read that, and it was actually a pretty good one. And then 17 I read, and then she had 17.5, so I read that one, and now I'm on 18. But she like started writing the Viral series, which is for like young adults. And I did read, I think 3 or 4 of those, but I just didn't care about them as much as I care about the Temperance Brennan. I don't know. So yeah, so that's what I'm working on.
Maybe that's what I'll get into next. I'm going to work my way through the Dresden Files first.
Yeah, they're I like the Dresden Files, but like I said, I have to take a break. And with certain book series, certain books I have to take a break for, like if they're too dark or I get too attached and they don't go the way I want, I have to stop because it get too bad.
See, and then I like power through to try and like make it through to the end and make sure it's good.
Yeah. So I have to finish, so I think after the Temperance Brennan's ones, I'm gonna continue with the alphabet ones by Sue Grafton. Because I really do like those. And those ones are so hard because she started writing them in the 80s. So a lot of times I'm like, just use your phone. And I'm like, oh, there's no phones. It's funny because I'm like, how much easier our lives are now. So
that's funny.
It is funny.
All right.
So now we're on to random randomness.
Okay. Okay. So I'm trying my hand at bullet journaling. Like I always had, you gave me this cool Fab Dory that you made, which I loved. And I made my own, or I think you sent a made notebook with it, and I think I've made one or two, and I tried printing some, and like I didn't use them all that well. Anyway, so I bought one, just a plain thing, and I'll open it up. It's like got the dots, the grid.
Michael's or Target?
Oh no, I ordered it on Amazon. I didn't realize they had them.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, so in Slytherin, there's a bullet journal thread.
Is there?
Planning Domination, I think is what it's called. And I haven't posted in there, but I totally was creeping through there at the beginning of the year and thinking I wanted to do it. And then I finally ordered it. And like at the top in the thread, it like has the Reddit easy way to like, or how to bullet journal, like simple steps. So basically, like, and if you do this, this is probably like old hat to you, and you're like, shut up, Jessica, because I know what bullet journaling is. Anyways, so you make on the first pages, you make an index and you number your pages. So like you can say what you're doing and you put the page number, so that you can like, it's an index. Like you can find where your stuff is. Anyway, so I have that. And then you have like your yearly calendar right after that. And then I have one where I did books like that I'm reading this year. So I wrote all the Dresden Files down, and I'm going to cross them out as I read them. And then I just have my February and like to-do lists. And then I have this, I did it sideways, this February tracker. So things that I want to do daily, like I have my water, my spin, 15 minutes, dance or yoga, reading, and then my Bible reading. So then I can mark off if I do it daily in each little square, which is cool. And then the really cool part that pertains to this podcast, I did for the House Cup. So I have
cool.
A page for that. So I have my order mission, Quidditch, and Headmistress Challenge. And then I have January classes, and then February classes. And I already did a setup for March too. So then I just write the class and like a very basic thing, and then I, write what I did and where I handed it and stuff. But I think it's going to be fun to use this because I like lists, and yeah, so I'm trying it.
That's cool. I need to get that.
Because like I was using it before, but I wasn't really very organized, and I kind of would just write things randomly all over the place, and I didn't really follow a format. So I think this will help me, I don't know, stay a little more organized. I'm excited about it. And then Chloe's birthday was yesterday, so we had fun with that. I made this cake. She wanted a chocolate cake with strawberry filling and strawberry whipped cream frosting, which it totally turned out so good. And like as I was piping it and making it, it totally reminded me of the pudding from Harry Potter in the second one, Chamber of Secrets, where Dobby
Yeah.
dumps it on. I forget what their names were.
The boss's wife.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was making it. I'm like, that's what it probably was. It was like flavored whipped cream. Anyways, it was just kind of funny. But it was really good, and it was really easy to make that whipped cream. It was just heavy whipping cream and Jello, strawberry Jello powder, and a little bit of powdered sugar, and then you whip it up, and then it was awesome. It was really really good.
That's awesome.
Not too heavy. You know, sometimes like frosting is like way too much and too sweet. It was a really good cake. I was happy with it.
That's cool. So, I already talked about everyone having the flu except for me, and I better not get sick. So I have been like diffusing purification and taking like a flu bomb pill,
Mm.
like all kinds of stuff in it to not get sick. But during all of this, our brakes went out in the car. So we took it to the shop for them to check and fix. So we figured it was like the brake lines. So he calls and he's like, well, your brake lines are shot and the bottom of your car is rusted through. Yeah. And it's probably going to be more than it's worth to fix. So you need a new car.
Ugh.
So this is our small car, like not the van, which we just had so Andy could drive to and from work. And then, but our mechanic's like super, he's actually pretty cool. And he was like, I actually have a car here that you can have. It's one of his workers, his grandmother moved here to like a retirement community. Why she moved to Johnstown, I don't know. But anyways, it was a southern car, so it didn't see a lot of winter, and there's miles on it, but it's a pretty good car. And it's I forget what, but so we went and checked it out, and we're like, okay, we'll have to do it, but we have to like wait for tax return to like even afford to buy it. So yeah,
Such
so
a bummer.
I have a show this weekend in Ocean City, and I can't not take the van.
Yeah.
Andy's like, well, how am I going to get to work? I'm like, you can hoof it. Like, I'm like, I can't even deal with this right now. But I was like, well, ask your parents if you can borrow one of their cars because they don't ever go anywhere without each other. So
Yeah.
there's always one car. And I'm like, our insurance should cover you driving their car. So please ask them. So he asked them, and they're going to let him borrow a car. But I've just been so stressed about that, which is why I need to start doing yoga more because I've been so stressed. And I freaking hate cars. Like, really, can we get a break? But that car was like a lemon from the get-go. Like, the guy who sold it to us totally screwed us over. And yeah. But anyways, that's my life. So I have a show in Ocean City. So I'll be leaving Thursday morning to get there. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, yeah. But
That's
so
very
the Super Bowl was on Sunday, and Bella was sick, and Andy was getting sick. But I still made buffalo chicken dip for Super Bowl food and pizza. And cut up all the veggies for the buffalo chicken dip, so we have leftovers. So then yesterday, while they're still both sick, I've been like craving like taco soup, but I didn't want to have it with the ground meat, so I made like chicken in my one pot in like 20 minutes. And then I made like a chicken taco soup. It was so good. So I have like a bunch left over. So I plan on taking that with me this weekend. So yeah, that's pretty much all my
We
life.
didn't watch a lick of the Super Bowl at all.
We kind of watched it mainly for the commercials, but that was when Bella was sick and she was like sick, like throwing up. Oh my gosh. Like every time the commercials would come on, she would be like, Mom, Mom. And I was like, I only want to watch the commercials. Can you at least call me during the game? But yeah, so it was funny because I'm not like the cuddly type when my kids are sick because I'm like, no, I am not getting sick. You do your thing, and I'll come by with like gloves and a mask. Um, like you get all cuddly and like watch movies and stuff. So which we did watch stuff, but like Bella was like, I was like, you are 13 years old. She like was like, I think I need to take a bath, and I'm like, okay. So I put her, gave her a bath, and then she was like, Mom, like 10 minutes later, can you help me get dressed? I'm like, Bella, you are 13 years old. Um, so I was like, I will help you, but you have to do most of it. So like I was just like trying to be nice, but at the same time trying not to get sick myself. I mean, when they were younger, you know, like they like hang all over you when they're younger and they're sick. So that I did that and I got thrown up on so many times. I just don't want to get thrown up on ever again.
You're
So,
funny.
but no, but it was so then finally she was like upstairs. Like we were like, why don't you just stay upstairs? Because the bathroom is upstairs. And so she was like, fine. And then she was like, I don't want to be sick. I'm like, Bella, you have no choice. You are sick. Like you have to be sick. Like get it through your system. So then I like she has this little portable TV DVD player, and I took it upstairs and I brought all the Barbie movies up for her to watch because I was like, these ones you've seen before and you can fall asleep watching them. So yeah. And then by that time at night, it was like 9 o'clock, Andy started getting sick. I was like, great, if I get sick, like I don't have time to be sick.
No.
But yeah, I'm like not, I guess I'm not a nice mom because I was just like, yeah.
You are mom. We just all have our different styles. It's totally fine.
But yeah, so that's the flu. And then today I like cleaned the whole bathroom, and I think yesterday Bella changed her sheets. So
I have been lysoling doorknobs like every single day and like the walls, like where they touch. And I made an elderberry syrup.
oh yeah,
Um, and I've been making them take that. It's supposed to be really good preventative for those who haven't gotten it, and it's supposed to shorten flu and colds if you are sick. So I've been making them down that. But yeah, we've been crazy.
that's good. I hate this time of year. Well, and then I have told Andy and Bella, I'm like, you need to be using Thieves every day, which is one of the Young Living's blends. But it's supposed to be like it's supposed to help your immune system so you don't get sick. Mm-hmm. And I've been telling them you need to be putting it on every day. If you don't want to put it on, like you can put it like behind your ear. I'm like, if you don't want to put it there, you can just put it on your feet and just get this stuff like, and I've been using it. So they have not. And I'm like, you need to start using it. Like, I do not want to get sick. You are around kids all the time. Mm-hmm. So after Andy got sick, he was like, okay, I'll use it. Yeah. But
no, we went sledding. It was fun.
Oh, I saw the pictures.
But we went when it was like just starting to snow, so there wasn't that much like packed on the ground, and like most of it was icy because everything had melted from like the last snowstorm. So like there's like a thick layer of ice on everything, and like we went, you know where Ballrath is, but it's like basically like a big bowl. It's like valley, and it's where the local high schools graduate from, and everyone sits on the grass around. Anyways, going sledding down it. They went from like the one end where the stairs are all the way across the field. Like, and it's like a big long field. It's crazy. It was fun though. But yeah, more snow last night even. And we've had such crazy weather. We've only had like 3, maybe 4 times of it snowing this year, but it's been so cold that the snow sticks around. It's really, really strange. But I felt bad for our chickens, so we had to buy more hay and bedding to put down like in their run because the snow got in there and they like wouldn't go by it. They like did not want to. So I had to shovel out their coop and like put more hay down so they have places to walk around. They don't like the snow.
Well, you figure their feet are like bare.
Yeah, they kind of get cold. But yeah, so that's it. We're kind of
Just rambling. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
bye.
Bye.